And Joe, you should still have control of my mouse and keyboard, and I see you do, so you're good to
Yes.
go.
All right.
All right, here we go.
The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Welcome to SLA's Competitive Intelligence Division Webinar Series 2017. This is webinar number 2. Our Super CI guest today is SLA's Competitive Intelligence Conference Chair, Joseph Foss. Joe will be providing us with an overview of our CI sessions during this year's 2017 Annual SLA Conference happening in Phoenix from June 16th to 20th. Along with the links and overview, you will be provided with in-depth information, including registration details. Now, a couple of housekeeping specifics before we begin. During the webinar, feel free to submit your questions through the questions window. They will not be posted publicly, and they will be answered at the end of Joe's information session. All attendees on telephone and computer are in listen-only mode. Later today, all registrants will receive an email including the YouTube link to this recording, along with a link on sla.cid.org. And thank you to Aurora WDC for hosting our session today. And now, our guest, Joseph Foss.
Thank you very much, Liz, for that introduction. And just before I begin, I just also like to point out that these slides will be available through a link that we will be, Liz will be posting through the chat window of GoToMeeting, and we will also be posting them on the CID website. So if you want to take a closer look at what I'm talking about today, you can do that at whenever it's convenient for you. So let's just go ahead and start looking at what the CI division has this year at the Phoenix 2017 conference. And we'll just begin with a short overview. We'll have one continuing education course. We'll have 8 educational sessions as the lead unit. We'll have 3 educational sessions as a supporting unit. And we'll have one networking event, the Pechak Kucha tournament, which I will refer to as the PK tournament, just for ease. I've been trying to say it correctly for several days now. But that is a long-standing event that CI puts on. We'll talk more about that later. I've also included the link here if you haven't registered for the conference yet. Here's this link, and if you follow the link for this presentation, all these links will be active. Of course, you can also find it at sla.org. And we'll talk a little bit more about the logistics of registering for some of these ticketed events. The first event we'll talk about is the CE course. This is on win-loss analysis, how to capture and keep the business you want. This actually takes place before the official conference. It's a separate ticketed event, so when you sign up for the conference, look for that little box and check it if you want to take part. If you've already registered for the conference, then find your original registration email and get back into the Crowd Compass site, and you can register for it that way. We're lucky enough to have Ellen Naylor. She is an author and CI practitioner. She's been practicing CI for about 30 years, and she's recently written a book on this topic. It's a 12-stage approach to instituting a win-loss program in your organization. And a key part of this is conducting customer interviews. So interview customers and clients that you gained as well as those that you lost to a competitor. And she will talk about what questions you ask, how you approach them, and then how you take this information and integrate it into a win-loss program to gain more business in the future and to be better at keeping the clients that you already have. So looking forward to that. Should be a really good course, and she's a very interesting speaker, so worth checking out. Then we'll move on to the educational sessions. These are the sessions that are part of the actual conference. Our first is a masterclass. We have one masterclass this year. It is Search the Next Generation AI Aggregators and Beyond. This will be a panel discussion, and JP Radchek of Aurora WDC will be the moderator. And then we have two panelists, Laura Gordon-Murnane, the technology librarian analyst from Bloomberg, and Ethan Redrup, a market analyst from the Martech Group. Both of these panelists have an interest in the future of search, and also specifically how librarians are going to interact with very powerful, as AI becomes more powerful and more widespread. How is that going to change the role of the librarian in terms of how they deal with things like natural language generation and computer-human interaction and all this kind of stuff. So they both have some really interesting views on this. They're both going to give a short presentation, about 25 to 30 minutes, and then it'll be opened up for discussion. So if you are interested in sort of the role of an information professional, looking ahead into this sort of futuristic stuff, then I highly recommend this class, or this educational session. So then we also have 4 intermediate level sessions this year. The first one I'll discuss, Searching for International Information, Understanding Cultural Barriers and Correcting for Bias. This is from, will be presented by Arthur Weiss from the UK, coming over to Phoenix for this. And he will be talking about understanding the culture in which you are searching in order to provide parameters for your search. So for instance, there's different approaches to openness of information in different areas culturally. So if we're talking about financial information, some cultures are more easygoing about sharing that kind of stuff. Other cultures are more closed. Understanding those cultural attitudes before you begin your search can help you to search more efficiently. So he'll be talking about ways to do that, things you should look for, ways that you can set up your search in advance if you're looking in another country than your own, or another culture than your own. Then the next session we'll talk about is Know Thine Competitor, Corporate Structure Research. This is with Scott Brown from Oracle, and he will be talking about a really good CI skill, which is basically how do you figure out the structure of a competitor, or maybe you're working for a client and they want to know, what's this company devoting to R&D, how much are they spending on sales, or how many people they have devoted to it. He'll be talking about the latest techniques and ideas for how you find out that information, and how you map it out, and how you present it to your clients or whoever you're working for. So a very good CI skill to have, no doubt. So our final 2 intermediate sessions that I'll be discussing today: what to do if you can't find it, building a compelling story around what you do find. This will be with Lynn Strand from Outside Knowledge. And this is a session that'll be more focused on client interaction, and she'll be talking about narrative building, using the information that you have found to sort of present something to the client that is helpful to them, even if you weren't able to find sort of, sometimes they ask for that one key piece of information, which they believe is key, but it may be impossible to find, or maybe it doesn't exist. She'll talk about how to sort of present something to the clients where maybe they can deduce what it is they need to know, or maybe sends them in a direction that might be more useful for them in terms of what they're trying to do. So very good if you're looking for a client interaction focused session. The last intermediate level session I'll talk about today is how competitive intelligence mitigates disinformation campaigns. This will be presented by John Thompson of Aurora WDC. And last year I had the opportunity to see John Thompson talk about counterintelligence at the Philadelphia conference. It was really a great session, really very insightful. So I was very excited to get him this year for this session. And of course, disinformation campaigns have a long history. They've been undertaken, for probably thousands of years at this point. But he will talk about why they're undertaken, and also from a CI perspective, how do you recognize what's happening and get around them? How do you sift through what is false and what's true, and how do you deal with that whole situation? Obviously, with social media and the sort of proliferation of all this information that's out there, and the ability to really craft a narrative, it's a very important question if you're out there doing research. So should be a very interesting session there. Then we also have 2 fundamental level sessions this year. We have emerging tools in CI that will also be JP Radicek of Aurora WDC. He'll be discussing basically CI tools that will be important in the next 10 years. So if you're practicing CI now and you kind of want to know what's the stuff I should be learning about for the next decade of research, he will be talking about that kind of stuff. Then we also have competitive intelligence for beginners with Victoria Richard. She's very excited to teach this one. And this is, you know, obviously if you're here, you probably know what competitive intelligence is, but a lot of people in SLA even are still sort of, maybe they're familiar with the term and don't really know what it is, or maybe they know what it is and don't know how to apply it to what they do. So yeah, if you've met anyone at a chapter meeting or anything like that, maybe let them know that this session's happening, and it'll be a good introduction, good solid introduction to competitive intelligence. And then moving on, this year we have 1 quick take. So for those of you who aren't familiar with quick takes, they're just 15-minute sessions, very short, and they basically there's some sort of very practical takeaway that you get from that. This year we have I Spy Overlooked Resources, Legal CI Tools, Hiding in Plain Sight, and this will be with Sue Mecklem. She's a law librarian at Davis, Wright, and Tremaine, and she works in the area of competitive intelligence there. Obviously, law firms have a lot of information, a lot of data, and basically, you know, she will talk about how you can leverage that in a CI context. So should be a very useful session. Then we also have 3 sessions that we are co-sponsoring. So the other units will be the lead unit on that. But just thought I'd bring your attention to them because we are co-sponsoring them just to sort of highlight different aspects of CI that they might talk about. So for instance, legal, changing roles of legal information professionals, adapting your skills to new challenges. That's a panel discussion. And Sue Mecklem will be a panelist on there talking about moving into a CI area if you're a legal information professional. And they'll be discussing various aspects of that with some other people. Pharma, predictive analytics, be a fortune teller. Obviously, predictive analytics, a lot of crossover with CI skills, and also always useful in the pharma area. So that's another one to keep an eye on. And then with the chem division, chemical formulas and names in patent literature. Getting information from patents, of course, always incredibly useful, always something that a CI professional can learn more about because there's a lot there. So just thought I'd alert you to those. So those are all of the educational sessions, all the CE sessions. Then we also have sort of what is considered the signature event of the CI division, the PK tournament and networking events. And we'd like to especially thank Aurora WDC for their generous support and exclusive sponsorship of this networking event. It'll be Sunday, June 18th at 7:30 p.m. This is a separately ticketed event, so you do need to register for it when you register for the conference. You need to find that little box and check that. It's important to note that we're not selling tickets at the door this year, so it's a bit more important if that you register in advance. It's a bit different from past years. But if you do have a chance to go, it's really a unique event. It's something that we try to find a venue, a location that somewhat exemplifies the location of the conference. So this year we've booked the Goldwater Room at the Renaissance Hotel. It's one of 3 hotels that SLA is contracted with this year. And we're quite excited about this. There's always very good food. The ticket comes with 1 drink ticket, and there's a fully stocked bar. And of course, there's also the PK tournament. So let me just talk a little bit about that. For those of you who aren't familiar with the format, it's 20 slides, and each slide is shown for 20 seconds each. And generally, it's my understanding that the presenter does not have control of when the slides change. So it's sort of very strict. You have to really stick to it. But it makes for a very fast-paced presentation. It really keeps things moving along. And since everybody's doing the same format, you get into this sort of this rhythm. Every year we choose a topic for these presentations. This year the topic will be how to find insights in a world of fake news and alternative facts. We have a few presenters lined up already. We have room for a few more. So if you have any ideas for something you'd like to do this year, we are asking you to post your idea with the hashtag PK Showdown on Twitter. Or you can email me, joseph.foss@gmail.com, and Liz will send that out over the chat. Just send me your idea if you're interested, and we'll see if we can get you in that group to present. So this is really a very interesting event. Something where it's more than just like a marketing thing. It's really trying to create a sort of intimate atmosphere where people can get to know each other. Last year the event in Philadelphia was really fun, really special. So I would recommend that you check that out. And so that is pretty much what we have going on at the conference this year. So I will pass it back over to Liz, and Liz, you can let me know if there's any questions that you have seen come through so far.
Yes, Joe. Let's see. This question is from Laura, and she asks, how is your state of programming applicable to those outside of CI division?
Right, well, that's a great question. And I would say that, well, obviously some of the sessions have a broader focus than others. One I would like to point out is the masterclass, the Search the Next Generation. This is something which I feel applies to many information professionals, just because, of course, there will be like some CI focused questions, but also in terms of what is the librarian's role when you have this an artificial intelligence machine that is able to sort of do the actual searching and can index the information in a way that perhaps in the past we relied on librarians and information professionals to take care of. So that's something that really affects all information professionals, not just CI. So that's one that I would look at more. There's also the I would say the CE, of course, has a broader appeal in terms of the fact that that's something that even if you don't really do CI, but if you are doing any kind of business where you deal with clients or you're trying to retain business for some reason, that would be very useful for you. Let's see.
We do have another question, actually. We have a couple more.
All right.
So Kate asks, how many presenters will there be at the tournament? And maybe you can provide some other details, if necessary, about signing up.
Sure. So they're thinking there will be between 8 to 10, I think, is sort of the limit for how many we'll have. And so far we have, I don't know, a few confirmed. I'm not really sure on the exact number right now. But so that's generally what we look for. And of course, yeah, it does require, some effort to get the presentation together. So I think that's generally what we do. Yeah, 8 to 10. And then any more details as far as there will be a menu coming out at some point, which I'll try to release. Still kind of waiting on the specifics of that. I think my understanding is there should be some food that will be somewhat, linked to the area where we'll be in the Southwest. And there should also be one other detail I could mention is there will be a signature drink for that night, which the event planners are working on right now. And is there anything else?
Yes, we actually have a few more questions coming in. So great. We also would like to know if you would need past experience in doing PKs in order to participate in this tournament.
Oh, no, actually in the past, it's mainly been like newer members or people that have never done it before. This year we have gotten some more interest from more established members of SLA, just because of the topic, or I don't know, maybe they've seen in past years that it looked fun, but I don't think any of them have even, I'm not sure if any of them have even done a PK presentation before. And so no, it's really more just about, we really make an attempt with this event to create a very comfortable environment. So this isn't some sort of thing where it's like, if you've never done PK before, where you only want the most experience. There's no, really, you should feel welcome to just try it out, actually, and see see how it works for you. Yeah, so there's really no pressure in terms of previous experience of PK, not at all.
And another question is now coming in, Joe. Can you register more than one person for the networking event?
Yes, this is, I believe that you can register yourself, and then you can, I think you can buy up to 3 more tickets. Under,
so 4,
under
right, okay, so 4 at a time.
I believe so, yeah. So, and that's, I'm not quite sure, I haven't done that myself through the website, but that's what I was told by events. So in case you have any, any questions on that. And also, I don't know if you sent my email through the chats, but if you want to sign, if you really want to sign up, that's the best way to do it, is just email me directly.
Great. Now let's see if there's any other questions. Actually, I have a question. I noticed that when in the registration, there's 3 hotels. Are they all close together? It seems as if there's a main one where the conference is held, and then the others, are they connected, or how does that work? Because I know that Phoenix can be kind of very, spread out.
Spread out, right. Yeah, no, this year, so it's the Sheraton, it's the Renaissance, and I want to say it's the, there's another one. But they're all very close to the convention center. I think they're all within like 0.2 or 0.3 of a mile. So they're all sort of in this downtown area. They're all very close. So they're all, walking distance. So obviously the weather will be fine. So yeah, that's what I know about that.
Okay, so, and the Hyatt is the Hyatt as well, so it's a Sheraton.
Right.
Hyatt.
Thank you, Liz. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that seems to be all the questions that are here at the moment. Is there anything else you'd like to add for us?
No, just that, like, if anyone has any other questions, just feel free to email me directly. That's totally fine. And just once again, for anyone that may have joined us late, I will be posting the link to these slides will be posted on the CID website. So if you want to look over anything here in more detail, then you'll be able to do that. And also, Liz, did you send the link for the slides through the chat for our attendees, or email them?
I will I will post everybody who is registered will get an email with the YouTube, and then the Prezi we have here, as well as the CID website.
Okay, great.
And also emailing you.
All right. Well, if there's no more questions, then I'm fine to wrap it up. I think I hope I gave everybody some idea of what they could expect, and I can also say that as far as I know, none of these courses overlap in any way. So if you want to see all of them, you sure can do that. Shouldn't be any problem at all. There will also be a CI division kiosk in, they're sort of doing this Main Street SLA thing this year at the conference. So I will try to be there for that as much as I can, in case anybody has any questions about CI division stuff that's going on at the conference, or the division activities in general. I'll try and be there to help with that. So I am really looking forward to attending and to meeting whoever else is there to
Well,
see
thank
see
you.
our stuff. Yeah.
We definitely look forward to seeing you in Phoenix. That's
All right.
really amazing. And just to update everybody, our next webinar in this series will be on June 8th. It's webinar number 3, Do It Yourself CI, with special guest speaker from the Helicon Group, John McGonigal. Registration details will follow, and we just want to thank you very much for attending today's session, and we hope to see you again on June 8th, as well as in Phoenix for the SLA conference. And this is Liz Lamoureux signing off.